Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, Jeff Lewis live from the comfort of my bed. But I'll tell you, too much of any good thing is not a good thing. Like, a little too much of the bed. You know what I mean? Like, you get comfortable and then having to get back in, you can't get comfortable like you were. But no complaints here. I have one antibiotic left, and then I am off all my post-surgery medicine. No more, well, I'm not taking any more nausea medicine. I'm choosing not to take any more pain medicine. I did take 3 Advil last night before bed just because I thought I could feel a little tenderness in my foot, not even pain, not uncomfortable, not discomfort. I just didn't want to feel anything. I was going to bed. I'm like, I just want to sleep. And that's the thing that I really think has helped me is I'm just sleeping a lot, just healing my body the old fashioned way, just rest and sleep. So anyways, thank you. Welcome everybody that is commenting. If you are new here, we love to hear your comments, see where you're from, what you have to say, your questions, all the things. So let's get into it. Definitely want to chat the Valley, watch what happens live. It was a little bit easier episode to get through, episode 6, but it was still a little difficult with some things going on between Nia and Janet. Then we'll chat Jeff Lewis live and which chump had to leave. And I just checked their Instagram to see if they've updated anything like Jeff did. And they just posted a picture of little turtles going into the ocean. So I don't know. I hope that means everything is fine, or that could mean they're at the hospital, like Jeff said, and they're just, doom scrolling, while they wait on some whatever to happen. So, anyways, regardless, we will chat about that and definitely good wishes for them and that family. So, save me the time. Krista says I didn't watch the Valley. Please save me the time. I think it's good. I mean, I don't know. I really do. There was a little bit better interaction between Jesse and Michelle. Sheena Shea was on. Don't think she needed to be on, but anyways, we'll chat about it. But first, I want to chat about, as a mom, something that is so heartbreaking, which is the nonsense that is going on between Richard Simmons. Well, that's a whole other conversation. Denise Richards and her kids. So Sammy, gosh, her name is not Sammy Richards, Shammy Sheen, because she's Charlie Sheen's daughter.
Bros will swallow like the raw eggs.
Let's just see. Okay, she's up to 171,000 followers. I think she had a lot less than that before.
I think it's so funny how all the gym bros will swallow like the raw eggs in the morning.
Okay, she's at least talking about something different.
Let me put you guys on this show. Benny Drama is just, are you stupid?
She's posting a lot, which is smart.
Stop. I've always been so jealous of all the guys. I'm kind of scared of myself sometimes. Like
$99.
Well, okay, she's posted so much since I last saw, I guess, the other video last night. But basically, Denise Richards has 2 daughters with Charlie Sheen, and they're only like a year apart, maybe 13 months. They're very close in age. Very different daughters, as we have seen now on season 1 of whatever that reality show was that just came out. I didn't even finish it, but I'm assuming that, yeah, Raquel says, did they get a season 2? I don't think they have heard yet, but I think she is really doing anything and everything to get a season 2. So I think that's what's going on there. But anyways, I forgot to put up the thing to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button, and obviously hit this link if you want to come on live and ask a question or a comment. Every time I do that, I see my myxoid cyst. It's like all you notice. I cannot believe I need a hand surgeon to deal with this nonsense. Like, that should be a little pop of the bubble, but it's not. Anyways, but I'm told my orthopedic surgeon has a good hand surgeon to recommend. So I can't deal with that right now. Anyways, Oh, I love that. Darla's just over there chilling in her love bubble. What's going on, Darla? Loving that. Okay, so we saw on the show that things are not always great between her daughters who are like 20 and 21 years old. Sammy, who is the OnlyFans model, makes a lot of money, uh, a lot more dolled up, a lot more sexy clothes, the hair, the makeup, the nails, all of that. Then her sister, the fancy car. Then her sister Lola, who I think has at the time, all I know is that she's a hostess at a restaurant. So I don't think either one of them are going to college. I guess they both finished high school and kind of both living. Well, I think Sammy has her own apartment, actually. I think Sammy actually has her own apartment. But, they're basically fighting over Mother's Day, what each of them got their mom for Mother's Day. Mainly Sammy seems to be like naming it. I got her this and I got her this, and she doesn't have her mom anymore. Well, I'm going to tell you, as a mom, and even a mom who doesn't have her mom, we don't give a shit about the presents. And if you do, I'm going to be a little judgy on you and say you need to get your priorities straight. If your two adult daughters are fighting publicly or privately, but especially publicly, and put it out there for the fodder of everyone on social freaking media, her mom heart is breaking. And not only that, she still has another preteen or teenage daughter to be raising. So she is in the thick of raising kids still. And then she's got to deal with y'all's nonsense. So if this is all just a ploy to get season 2, then great. Do your thing out, sell your soul, do all the things. It is not for me. I would not want it for my kids and their mental health. And speaking of mental health, Lola has literally said on her social media, I think it's called Lola Sheen, I'm assuming Sheen. Let me check TikTok real quick. That she has had some mental health stuff, and she says Jesus Christ helped her. So for everyone that's Lola Sheen, okay, yes, her Instagram is Lola Sheen. See if I can
was not
find
going to come on here and make a video, but after watching both videos that were said about me and receiving so many countless comments, I've decided to just say this. Growing up, I was always taught to never post something about someone on the internet, especially your own family. If anyone knows what it feels to say
it's a little bit long.
So I'm not faking being a Christian. I'm not a facade. I am literally just posting about the person who saved me. But I understand that being a Christian, there are persecutions that come with it, especially sharing your faith online. I already knew that there's going to be hate.
Yeah, so that video is over 3 minutes long, but it's like the back and forth of them. And I would love to think that Lola's not involved in this and just whatever, but even so, I think at some point you're going to come on and defend yourself because there's only so much. That's like things that have happened with me. It's like I don't defend myself most of the time because I realize it's just going to fall on deaf ears. But sometimes you do get just angry and disappointed and so frustrated by everything that's said that are just lies and allegations and people believing them that you do come on to say something. But I'm just, this is just a word mainly to the oldest one, Sammy, because I'm not on Team Sammy. I'm definitely Team Lola. I'm saying if you claim you're trying to do the best for your mom for Mother's Day and buy her all this stuff and she doesn't have a mom, trust me, tone down the drama with you and your sister Lola, and you won't even begin to imagine the happiness in your mama's heart, okay? More than the gifts and the flowers and the nonsense you claim to have bought her. So, yes, exactly. Mabu says parents' past has a big impact on what they are like now. Yes. And somebody said, Kimberly said, this is why I'm happy to be an only child. I mean, I do have 5 kids, and I love that I have 5 kids. We wanted all 5 of them, but I can tell you, it does put a little dent in your little mama heart anytime they're fighting. Whether they're 4 and 6 fighting, or whether they're 22 and 20 fighting. You know what I mean? It's just this thing that just kills a mama's heart for sure. I mean, D. Dot says you can tell the difference between Lola and Sammy, good and evil. And I just feel like I wonder if this is something they're doing to get a season 2 of their reality TV show, because that's like their bread and butter right now. Although, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure OnlyFans is doing Sammy just fine for sure. D. Dot says, who isn't Team Lola? Law, this spoiled ass creature, meaning Sammy. Yeah, it's so crazy. Oh, wait. Yvonne Gal says, y'all, whoever posted the recipe for colon cleanse with prune juice and apple juice, that person wasn't joking. It works like crazy. My colon is super clean now. So I think that was several of y'all, but definitely Charlie, right? The he, she, they, it, them, we don't know. The mystery of it all. The one who has somehow figured out emojis. Why can't I figure out emojis here on YouTube? I don't have an emoji link. When I go to make a comment, there's just no letters even pop up. I just have to type on my screen. Are there heart emojis on my computer screen? No. But somebody posted again. I feel like it's 1 cup per apple juice, half a cup prune juice, and a 1/4 teaspoon of melted butter. Mix it all together and do it. I haven't tried it, but I did have, this is regular water because my son fixed it for me. If my daughters would have fixed it, it would have had lemon juice in it. But this morning I did have a lot of lemon juice in my body and my water. And I'll just take a tiny, I mean, like a 0.3 on a level 10 happened in the potty, in the bathroom. But that's all I'm going to say. Maybu says, I have a 25-year-old and a 14-year-old, and they still argue in the same space after a while. Nothing serious. It's just what siblings do. Yeah, I mean, thank goodness it's nothing ever serious, but, you know, Sammy and Lola are getting to where it's serious. And, you know, when you bring it into social media and how people can get on each side and so negative and whatever, and the mental space that social media can take on kids. I mean, they're only 19 and 20, maybe 20 and 21. It's a lot. And especially when Lola has admitted she didn't even want to be alive at one point, and she says, Jesus saved my life. So when you bring all of that mental health history into things, it really alarms me that her and her sister would take this to a place on social media. It's awful. Cecile says, in the hospital, they used that colon cleanse on my husband after surgery and it worked. He got to go home after that. Yes. Send me the recipe again. Me too. Raquel says, I wonder who Jeff was trying to say that he told Joey not to cross the line with you think it was Reza or Zach? No, I think it was way more current, and I don't think Reza would do anything. I do feel like he loves his husband, Adam, and I don't know if Zach Noe Towers would do anything. I don't think Zach Noe Towers would, as Jeff says, shit where he lives or whatever he wants to call it, shit in his own backyard or whatever it's called. Yeah, Yvonne Gal says, Cecile and Charlie, social, know how often we can use any ideas I wouldn't want to use every day, but would be willing to. Yeah, I think it's a natural thing. Clearly, juices and butter have to be better than using a laxative every day if you're needing something like that. But hopefully, you wouldn't feel like you need it every day. I mean, not everybody poops every day. So let's normalize not pooping every day. And trust me, I've been talking about my lack of pooping and my poop issues with personal friends and on the internet for a while now, and I get lots of information. There's a lot of people that don't poop regularly, so that's why we all like to talk about it. Okay, here it is. Charlie Charles, drum mode. 1 cup of prune juice, half a cup of apple juice, a 1/4 tablespoon of butter. Okay, I was wrong. I was hoping it was a 1/4 teaspoon, which is a lot tinier. 1/4 tablespoon of butter. Warm that up and drink it. And then I don't know how long it takes. Okay. We should leave that recipe up. Let's just leave that recipe up and let everybody know what we're talking about. It'll make people I'm so jealous when you brag about that. Now that song will be stuck in my head all day. What song? Oh no, Kimberly Says, my adult kids argue all the time. However, we all learn that life is too short. My daughters are dealing with guilt since my son, their brother, passed away in November. Yes, and hopefully that makes them come closer and realize, they've got each other. They've always got each other's. Wait, what? Ooh, I don't know. Stoney said someone mentioned that a show was pulled because Jeff offered a promo for a discount. Is this true? I mean, why would they need to pull a whole show for that? I can't imagine that's true, but I'm not going to spend my time going away to look for the app. So, anyways. Yes, hugs, Kimberly. Okay, let's talk the Valley. Episode 6 is Nia in denial. So Nia made it very clear when she was on Watch What Happens Live last week, there is no lost love between her and Danny and now Janet and Jason. So Janet and Jason were on Watch What Happens Live last night. So definitely names have been called, all the things. But it feels like Nia's in denial because yet again, even though they're choosing to be on a reality TV show and they are paid to be on a reality TV show, she keeps saying, we might have problems and we work it out between us in our marriage. We don't put all of our stuff out there. And I'm like, well, I sort of get that. Like, we don't necessarily need your past, but if something is going on currently, and I do, even though the voting on Watch What Happens Live was was in Danny's favor, I should say, I don't think it's normal to come into a pantry and get some warm tequila from a bottle and go gunk, gunk, gunk and drink 3 sips of it. Like, I don't think that's normal. Like, I don't care how much you had to make up because everyone else got to the winery before you did. It's not a contest. We're all grown-ass adults. Nobody had to be a certain level of drunk. You could see that Kristen was a little slurry later in the day when they were kind of talking about getting into the hot tub. Nobody else was going to sleep. I mean, we've seen Jesse get messy. It's okay for them to get messy. Like, there's no rule that they can't get drunk and pass out and go to sleep on a girls' trip, on a trip. But going into a pantry and taking 3 glugs of straight up tequila after we in a pantry, like hiding yourself and then not talking about it and then not necessarily being honest with your wife, Nia, and telling her that that's what you did. It was just crazy. Charlie Charles says, and you are all welcome. I'm here to clear up everyone's bowel moment. Who knew he, she, them, they has so much power? Oh, the power and the mystery. Wait, didn't you used to have a picture up? And now you've just got the purple letter C. Is purple the color for bisexuality? Like, what are we learning about you? You become a mystery now. Oh, goodness. Yvonne Gals, I will say, y'all, that it only took about 20 to 30 minutes to work, so get ready to run. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in the lying about it, like, first of all, clearly Janet and Nia and them are not the best of friends. I mean, Janet and Jason became really close with Brittany and Jax during the pandemic. So they were the foursome that really hung out together a lot. So they know a lot about each other. It wasn't those four. So I feel like he was already so drunk when he walked into the pantry and shut the door and drank that. Like, weren't there other drinks out to be had? To me, part of drinking is being social. So like fixing a margarita and sitting with your friends and drinking it and talking and hanging out. Like, not going and chugging alcohol straight up in a pantry and then going straight to bed. And missing out on the fancy dinner that they had for everyone, They'd had this big chefs and everything. Debbie says, I agree, Sarah. Take the bottle into the kitchen and pour some. No need to sneak it and hide. And also, didn't you feel like Danny was lying by omission to Nia later? Because she's like, look, I just took all this crap, like everything was piled onto me. And they just have this, like, he even had this like nervous laughter, and she calls him out on it because she's like, you just have this nervous laughter. I think it's this whole image of like, we are holier than thou. We have these 3 little children. They're overtaking our lives, but I still look so perfect. I'm Miss Teen USA. You know, we're this actor. I'm this child actor. We're just trying to get work and buy this beautiful, perfect house and have our fourth baby. Yeah. Raquel says Nia is very open. The first season she was with postpartum. Oh, right. Okay. Postpartum issues. And now this season they need to pick on Janet and Jason. Oh, so they're just swapping who they're going about. Okay. I mean, was she very open? I guess. I wouldn't say very open. They didn't really wrap that up. Like we never really knew, you know, how that, yeah, Darla says that's alcoholic behavior. And I think that's what Janet was saying when they all had this girls' dinner a few nights later that Brittany hosted at her house. And they were just bringing it up saying, hey, and Janet was just giving her experience saying, look, I dated a guy with alcohol and drug addiction issues, and I know what it's like to kind of cover up for that. And Brittany knows what it's like to cover up for her husband, Jax, in the big scheme of it all. So we're just saying, look, if you need someone, we are true people that can help you. Hopefully she meant off camera also, because I don't want to think that she's just doing it on camera. You know what I mean? Oh, 21 minutes. I was like, what is, I just noticed this count. It counts up at the bottom corner. Oh, Mama Judy says, don't forget, this is all according to Janet. She is very shady. I mean, I do feel like the story that's going around about Janet is probably true. I do feel like, so the story going around, and Andy Cohen brought it up and asked her with this truth bomb thing last night on Watch What Happens Live, if the bloggers that are saying that Janet moved to LA just to be on reality TV and become friends with all the Vanderpump Rules people. She says no. What is the reason she said she moved there? Oh my gosh, I feel like she did. She said that she and Sheena had gotten close and that's why she moved there. And I'm like, so you moved to LA for a friend, like not for a job, not for a boyfriend, or like for what? It was so weird. Yes, we're talking about the Valley of Ongal. Debbie says, if you're sneaking it, it's a sign of something more. And I feel like that's where, when Nia is saying, we don't put it all out there. In other words, he might have issues, I might have issues, but we're wrapping things up in a bow for our part of the show. Like we're showing just enough, but we're going to be the nice, kind, gentler boy next girl, girl next door type people. You know what I mean? LTD says, Danny said the tequila was in the pantry. I think everyone was overreacting. I take a couple swigs every time I go in my pantry. Are you kidding? Or are you not kidding? Okay, LTD. Anyways, I mean, if anything, he should have done it because of the cameras. He should have shown that. I think that's why he was so drunk from the winery already. I think when he went into the pantry and shut the door, I think he was just already so drunk. Claire says, maybe Danny shut the door just because of the cameras. I mean, yeah, Kimberly says it's not the crime, it's the cover up. Exactly. Oh, Kimberly J says 168 viewers, 46 thumbs up. Get it live, crew, or go and chug tequila in the closet. That's actually funny. Yeah, Cecile says the show is too overproduced for me. Brittany is not a very good actress. I mean, Sheena Shea. Raquel says, why was Sheena there yesterday? It felt not natural, looked forced. They do not need the old Vanderpump people making an approach if it's not needed. Exactly. I mean, it was basically to show that she and Sheena are very good friends. They've kind of helped each other. Their daughters are friends. I'm like, okay, I get that, but you're not on the show. Like, we don't need it's almost like, and they apparently are doing this on the Peacock after show, which I haven't been watching, but I hear it's even better than the show. There's a Peacock after show for the Valley, and it's on Peacock the next day. So it would be available today. And they would do this last year with Vanderpump Rules, where they would have the Valley people on. I'm like, why are we having the Valley people on to talk about a TV show that they're not on? Now, why are we having Vanderpump Rules people come on to the Valley that they're not on? Like, if y'all are friends, great. We can all have friends. Like, they can all have friends that we don't even know about. They could be friends with celebrities that we don't even know about. Now, if they're a digital entrepreneur, if they're an influencer, all the things like Joey Zalzig, then it makes sense to bring those people onto their accounts and such. But it was just weird. D. Dot says, I would drink wherever and whenever I wanted to. They aren't my mama and daddy. Well, and I would venture to say it was better. I mean, it gave a scene. It gave something to happen. Because if not, I don't feel like if that happened, and I don't feel like if whatever happened at the Halloween party. So don't forget, because they keep bringing this up. So Michelle and not Michelle, is that her name? Freaking not Michelle. The two that are on the lesbian couple that's married. Is one of them Michelle? Jasmine and her wife. So I feel like whatever happened, there was a Halloween party at Jax's studio. They say that Danny showed up not even in a Halloween costume. He got very drunk and he was asking Jasmine. They said, Janet says he put her hands on Jasmine. I don't know what that means. In a negative way, in a touchy-feely way, I don't know. But basically they're saying, and Danny said, can you go get me a drink? Can you go get daddy a drink? And I'm like, I just don't feel like they're that close to joke like that. I feel like Kristen and Jasmine are very close. There's pockets of, there's couples that are very close that might have kind of a joking friendship like that. And then I feel like there's ones that don't. So, oh, wait, what? Oh, well, maybe that's why they were on. Okay, Raquel says, Christian mentioned for next week why Jason doesn't wear his wedding ring. I think it was on last night because trust me, it was a love fest about their marriage on Watch What Happens Live. It was, I love Janet. I'm with her all the time. I don't know why people don't get her. I don't know why social media comes at her. Reddit is only about 40 people, so that's not the majority of people who watches our show. They were very much, is Tiffany Chump here? I'm missing it if she is. Welcome, Tiffany Chump. Yvonne Gal says, Tiffany Chump, hope you read our chats and replay. We miss you. Oh, that's sweet. Kimberly J says, I kind of see why Brittany was pissed. If Danny's getting paid to pass out and sleep, but Brittany has to lay out her heart for everyone else to see, I would be pissed if someone was collecting money while passed out. Well, and especially if maybe she knows more to the story, and yet because they're not choosing to come out and talk about it, she's getting mad about that. Like, this could be, at the end of the day, a show is for ratings too, right? So they want the ratings because that in fact affects their job for next year. It affects them getting a season 2, right? So they want all that said. Oh my gosh, how exciting, Melissa. We do have smart chumps. Melissa says, hi, back from my daughter's law school graduation. Not up to date on any show since last week, but happy to be here and get the tea. Congratulations. That is something to be so proud of. Raquel says, I can't wait when it's time to pick on Jason and Janet. They think they will never be the focus. Yeah. Yeah, I thought the truth bomb thing was funny, especially when Andy Cohen was talking about it was freshly painted. He's like going to get high from it. I love the handmade crafts that they make on Watch What Happens Live. I do. Dana says, Nia is the sweetest. Not a fan of Brittany, Janet, or Jasmine. Love Kristen. I like Kristen more than I expected her to. And I really like her fiance, Luke. Like, I'm really excited for them to become parents. I really am. Yes. Raquel says, Janet left Ohio to go be in a reality show. She is a fan. She's admitted she's a huge fan of Vanderpump Rules. I just can't remember why she said she left Ohio to move to LA. I think she said because she and Sheena became really good friends. And I'm like, Sheena's like married with a kid, has her own, like you moved to LA to meet her. Oh, Darla says, I'm disappointed in Brittany. She's let fame get to her. Well, she better be saving her pennies. D-Dot says, my dishwasher is my liquor cabinet. Oh my gosh, we use our dishwasher every single day. Matter of fact, a funny thing is one of the kids that are home was basically sending a message to the family chat saying, look, I'm not going to be the only one that unloads and loads the dishwasher. And she sent that message yesterday. And then today she says, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. And I was like, preach. I was like, y'all are going to figure out how much stuff mama does around here. I mean, trust me, I'd be up unloading that dishwasher if I could. But anyways, at least the others that are home either have a job or they go to high school still. So anyways, Yvonne Gal says, I want fun. I want beautiful homes and vacations. Let's fight about clothes, not drugs and kids and cheating. It's just too much. Yeah. Yeah, I sort of get that. I'm hoping, thank you, Christopher, for reminding everybody to hit the like button. True. I mean, Cecile says, how long did everyone cover up for Jax? I mean, from day one, I'm pretty sure he had a problem, right? Oh, Claire says, I think Mauricio's girlfriend definitely called the Paps. This airport is so tiny in Mykonos. Yeah, I think so too. And also, so many celebrities said, look, hasn't everyone, well, I haven't been, but hasn't a lot of people been to the Mykonos airport and no Paps pictures have come out? Darla, honey, child, sweet thing. I'm 65, dating a 35-year-old. I'm a cougar, LOL. Girlfriend, you must be raw between the legs. D Dot says, hit the thumbs up button, please. And thank you, show support. Thank you so much. Yeah. I don't know that it's jealousy. I mean, I do think she's naturally beautiful. What I thought was interesting is Nia did become very open about growing up. And she didn't say, I missed whatever happened about her talking about going to Al Anon. I completely missed. Janet was asked about that and said, yes, that is supposed to be anonymous if you go to Al Anon. So I should have never said it. I regret it. I apologize, all the things. I never heard her say it. So I don't even know where it was said. If it was on the show, if it was on the after show, if it was on social media, a podcast, I have no idea. But Nia did talk about being homeless as a kid. But then I know she goes on, and then she, even as an adult, she talked about having a job, but yet she couldn't afford a place to live and didn't have any people to live with, I guess. So she would get asked by the security to move her car, and she'd have to go to a different, grocery store parking lot or wherever to sleep and finish up. But I know the pageant world is very expensive. Like, how on earth did she get involved in the pageant world when she was not even having a place to live? Like, that stuff is like gowns, hair and makeup and hair coloring and getting your eyebrows done and the tanning stuff and the high heels and the training to enter it. I mean, it's a lot of money. It was kind of crazy because I'm like, wait a minute. I need a timeline because you talked about being homeless and sleeping in your car with your mom growing up. And I'm just taking a leap because she didn't fill in the blanks on this. If that's maybe where the Al-Anon issues came in, because she didn't say why or what. Now we know everyone isn't homeless due to drugs or alcohol, but there is a percentage that is. So she didn't fill in the blanks, so we have no idea based on any of that. Kimberly J says, I've dated significantly younger, and it's fun for 90 days, LOL. Oh, Claire says, I watched the after show on YouTube, Face Reality. We're upset with Janet regarding something she disclosed about Nia, and it was deleted from the Valley show. Oh, so this must have been about the Al-Anon thing, which is interesting that they would bring it up because, again, I would have never known about it if she said so. Whoever said something about it, the fact that Andy Cohen asked her about it on Watch What Happens Live and aired the answer, that's the only reason I know about it. Like, I didn't even know where it came from. So there's a lot more people like me probably that now know about the Al-Anon comment that didn't know about it before. So if they felt like they were going to delete it, then they should have just left it. I don't know. And Janet said it was a mistake, so she did. Wait, what? Cecile says, I'm married to two 32-year-olds. Y'all are really confusing me today with y'all's comments. Like, I don't know what is a joke, what is whatever. Mariah says, I feel like they are very strategic in their movement. They all watch what they say. I mean, why would anyone would admit that their husband has an alcohol issue? Exactly, especially when that is the persona that they're putting out of like, oh, happy marriage, 3 young toddlers, just trying to make it in the world, all the things. And it is. I mean, that show came out last year, so any reality show coming out in 2024, they are all going to be media trained. They're all going to know all the things. They're going to know what to say on a podcast early on. All the things. It's kind of crazy. D Dot says, heck, they have 4 toddlers under the age of 3. Heck, I'd be drinking all the dang time. Well, they're about to have a 4th next month, literally. Charlie says, from the Valley, Jesse's soon-to-be ex-wife just said he's an alcoholic. Yes, but I think they were just name calling. And because he also called her a prostitute or whatever the word was, and has a drug addiction problem on the Nick Viles show. Oh, recently. Oh, wow. Well, that's not good. You know what? I mean, if it's true, you got to prove it. You got to prove these things. But also, that would be an issue for him having any alone time with their daughter if he really does have an alcohol and drug addiction problem. So that's some very serious allegations there for sure. Raquel says, Jasmine y'all are so good in comments lately. I am really loving that y'all are so into comments because I'm loving it. It feels like we're having more of a conversation, which I love. Raquel says, Jasmine has to go. They are not needed. They do not have a story that the fans are interested in. And based on, their Watch What Happens Live, they are just like 2 hunky-dory missionary, mom and dads like doing it in the bedroom. I mean, there was nothing exciting about them or their marriage. The only thing is they asked Jason on a level of 1 to 10, how much of a, what's the word? What they keep calling Danny. I don't think I wrote it down. Like Dangerous Danny or whatever they're calling him. And he said a 9 at one point. Then he went down to an 8. But he's basically saying, well, I'm going to say an 8 because he hasn't killed anyone yet. And I'm like, geez Louise. Like, they really think they're bad people. Whatever they keep calling Danny. They keep calling Danny something like Dirty Danny or something like that. Something. Y'all remind me what they're saying. Oh, but she's an attorney. That's weird. Kim says, I read on some Bravo gossip site that Janet was Sheena's assistant. Also, Janet's husband, Jason, used to date Sheena. Oh, well, that's interesting. I don't think I realized that at all. Sheena? Wait. Y'all are saying Sheena and Jason used to date, and now Janet and Sheena are really good friends? Like, ew, that's kind of weird, especially if they dated and did it. Like, that's kind of... Yeah, but they have money. Krista says Savannah Chrisley was heavy into pageants. Yeah, but I'm talking about it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Yvonne Gal says, did y'all ever watch Toddlers and Tiaras? Those parents spent wild amounts of money for their kids, but they weren't homeless living in a car either. Like, it's a very different thing when Nia's saying that her mom and her were, living in a car. They were homeless. Yes. Oh, I love it. LTD says, I've Sarah on the big screen and on my phone so I can see the comments. Oh, how sweet. Okay, I love y'all's comments. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up with them though. Raquel says, Nia admits that they go to therapy separately and couple therapy, so they do try to work their problems, not just hide them. Nia's just being a protective wife like anyone would. But protective wife doesn't go hand in hand with being a reality TV star in 2025 on Bravo Network. You know what I mean? That's like, a protective wife isn't what keeps the TV show going. So if they don't want the TV show to go, then they need to go along and let somebody else. They can still be friends with all these people. They don't have to do a reality TV show with them though. And that's my point is, you know, you almost got to have some, yes, dark Danny. That's what they keep calling, like how dark of a Danny is. Janet is on Sheena's podcast a lot. That makes sense to me. That absolutely makes sense. Yeah, dark Danny. Kind of crazy. So I know D Dot says Honey Boo Boo is a honey no. No, y'all, she's actually doing really good. Living in Colorado with her boyfriend of a couple of years now. She got into nursing school. She's studying. So very soon, maybe it came out already, but very soon, a movie about Honey Boo Boo is coming out on Lifetime. But also, I record the Mama June Has Issues or whatever it's called, Mama June, whatever it's called. So it'll come up. And another season, a season 7 is coming up of that very soon. So I don't know what Dana says disagree, Sarah. I don't know what you mean though. You gotta, maybe I missed it. Oh, I love it. Bridget says, me too. Sarah's on the big screen and I'm on my iPad for the comments. Love that. Help us, Jesus. Wait, what? See, yes. Yvonne Gauss says, sat for most of the concert in a chair and had to be helped off the stage by 2 bandmates. I bawled, but appreciated all the more he sang for us so long. Oh, are you talking about the concert you went to? That's cool. I think Mayboo is on today, isn't she? I thought we've talked to Mayboo today. Yes, Charlie Charles, he, they, it, them, she. The world of reality is becoming scripted. Let me plug my business and brand, and we all see right through it. Exactly. Let me plug my business and brand and move right along. Exactly. Honey Boo Boo has no kids. She's never been pregnant, she says. Stony says, how many kids does Honey Boo Boo have by now? Wasn't she pregnant at like 13? No. Nope. I will always defend Honey Boo Boo because I'm hoping she is the light that comes out of that dang family. For sure. Oh, Dana says, I disagree with your take on Danny and Nina. Danny and Nia. Okay. Well, tell me. Come on, hit the StreamYard button. Tell me. Or tell me more in comments and I'll read it. I know. Krista says reality TV is so produced, staged, and over-scripted. I know. Michael Riley, where are you? We're looking for you. Yes, her sisters have had babies young, but not her. So, okay. They also let us know how much. Okay, so a week or two ago, we learned, well, I guess it was last week, something came out about Jesse's gay friend, a gay guy who Venmo'd him money for his birthday. And so then he came on, he wouldn't say anything about it, didn't really defend. He was like, yeah, that's normal. I'm like, I'm 52. None of my friends have ever Venmo'd me money for my birthday. Now, if I needed money, or if I had a friend that needed money and I knew that that money could be best used in cash for food, rent, mortgage, whatever their needs were, I have no problem choosing to give a financial gift that they can use for themselves versus a spa treatment or a candle or a new mug, you know what I mean? Or let's go to a restaurant. But Jesse likes to put out that he had this extravagant lifestyle. They made millions. They had all, they traveled the world. They were realtors, all the things. So when you put that out there and then say, because basically Michelle, his soon-to-be ex, was definitely trying to say something about, you're this gay guy that Venmo'd you money, like implying it was for something else, like pay for gay, if they will. Now, last night, Janet let us know that Michelle has shown her the proof of the Venmo. It was $2,500. I mean, even Andy Cohen was like, well, that's not insignificant. Like, that's a pretty significant birthday Venmo gift for just a friend that happens to be gay. The gay only comes into it because they're trying to imply, Michelle is, that he is gay for pay. That's a whole other allegation, just like the drugs and alcohol thing of it all, right? Just like he is saying she's basically a prostitute, basically sleeping with people for money or going on dates for money for sure. Yeah, $2,500. That is a lot. And I just think it's interesting that somebody with that much, like, if you have money and you're grown adults and everything is going fine, do you Venmo your friend $2,500 for their birthday? Or do you just buy them a nice bottle of Vouv or a, a bracelet? I mean, I don't even know what else costs $2,500, something else that's in that range. I think cash and a Venmo in particular is very interesting, to say the least. Yes, I did see that. Charlie Charles says, Honey Boo Boo just did a tell-all with Melissa Rivers here on YouTube. Yeah, I do want to watch that because I did see the video clip of that somewhere. Anyways, your battery's going to die. See you later, Christina. Bye. I mean, I don't think I do either, but they're bringing it. It's like, but I said last week's episode of The Valley was so incredibly dark with the allegations of the gay for pay, him saying she's a prostitute, not prostitute. What does he keep saying? Basically, where you pay to go on dates. You go on a date and he gives you $1,500, whatever that's called. Starts with a B, I feel like, but I can't think of the word. Dana Maria says, I don't like Jesse or Michelle, but they're bringing it, and that's kind of what the show, was for, right? Yeah. Wait, what? Who? Oh, Jesse? Dana Maria says he had to show those tiny hard nipples and more. Stony says gay for pay is just a cover. It means he's gay, but down low or in denial and wants to act it out, but feels guilty unless he himself, it's just for money. Yeah. I mean, those allegations have come across for Jax Taylor for a long time. Whoever the escort, is that what he called her, an escort? Yeah. When Jax Taylor was in his 20s and was a model trying to be in Florida and everything, they imply he lived with a guy that was gay that didn't charge rent or much charge, and maybe Jax did some special favors for him or something. Gay for pay. Debbie says 210 are watching and only 62 likes. Must be a lot of tequila drinking going on. Exactly. Get those likes up. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. Krista says Jax is a fraud. He needs to be inpatient somewhere. Yeah. Okay. On Jeff Lewis Live, the first hour was Beverly D'Angelo and Joey Zalzig. The second hour was supposed to be Shayna Mokler, but halfway through it, they notice, I guess they have either a video or a window. Somehow, maybe it's right next door, the green room that they sit in. He said they could all see Shayna Mokler get up, put her jacket on, and say, I gotta go. Well, then they got the story, and she had a family emergency. So, I mean, Jeff spilled the beans and said that they had to go to the hospital. I don't know if that was the truth. I don't know if, I don't know what the truth was or what she really wants out. I did look at Shayna Mokler's Instagram and didn't see anything. So, I mean, nothing updated was updated. Charlie says, Michelle just said on the Nick Viles show that Jesse has a scripted binder as to what to say and how to act on the show. That does not surprise me at all. Wow. Oh, Nancy Moon, thank you. How easy is it to press the like button? Help Sarah out, guys. Thank you. Melissa says, I don't think The Valley has many more seasons. I don't know what has more seasons. I mean, y'all, when I tell you, I have been a reality TV fan from MTV's Real World. I mean, I watched the Osbournes like this. I mean, I love reality TV, and I am getting bored of it. Like, there's only so much you can take. It's like, it's all the celebrity ones, like Celebrity Big Brother, Survivor, all of those action type shows, they have the same cast. Like, oh, we've got the mom, we've got the dad. I'm talking about Big Brother mostly. we've got the gay guy, we've got the hot girl, the hot guy that might get together. I mean, it's like they just insert a cast. And I feel like that's how it's getting with everyone. But now, not only that, they know how to manipulate the situations. They know that drama is good TV. They know that's what that gets them invited on Watch What Happens Live. That's what gets them invited on podcasts. That's what gets them their ratings up on Instagram. Getting their numbers up on Instagram is what gets them to be ads and do, whatever. So it's like this big whole thing. And then, of course, like someone said earlier, it becomes all about their brands and their businesses. They come on and just promote stuff. So that was crazy. We are definitely going to talk about that. Oh, the way our family loves Cops. Kimberly J says reality TV started with Cops for me. Man, it's been on so long. I love that show. We love Cops and live TV or whatever they call it now, the Saturday night one, but I think they call it something else now. But Cops is so good. I mean, I was always like, how did they agree to let themselves have this shown about themselves? Mm-hmm. Me too, Meg. Do y'all remember the show last summer? It was 2 summers ago, I think, about the girls in Paris. I think it was called Real Friends in Paris. But when that went on, that year when they had BravoCon 2023 in Las Vegas, they didn't invite any of those girls to come over. And yet when the year before, when Family Karma was off and never came back, they had Family Karma people there. They had the Shawls of Sunset people there. They didn't have an active show at the time. But the Real Girls, the Real Friends of Paris, they didn't have any of those people at BravoCon. So that was weird. I like the show. I mean, they genuinely had money. The ones that had money and grew up with money, they talked about it. Like, I want to know all that. I'm happy if somebody came from money. That's great. It's something I don't experience. I think it's great to see how somebody has daddy paying their rent in Paris and then working really hard trying to get somewhere. Meg says, do you remember the show last summer about the girls in Paris? It was really great drama, but really I'm missing that in these shows. Yeah. And I feel like they're not real friends either. They're just not real friends. So, oh, I didn't think so. The people that like Cecile says, I hated Cops, just a bunch of drug addicts. No, I felt like they showed a lot of stuff. I thought it was so good. Yes, Krista says the Real World MTV was fire. Charlie Charles, do you remember that reality TV episode of The Real World of that girl who had a threesome and it was all recorded? I don't remember, but I just remember Pedro and how he had AIDS and it was a really big deal. And then obviously when he passed away, yeah. I don't. Stony says, does anyone remember the A-List Dallas and the A-List New York fun reality shows? I don't remember those. Anyways. Yes, Dana Maria, yes. And that's why I hope they can reproduce it with this new cast of Vanderpump Rules. I mean, Lisa Vanderpump was on Watch What Happens Live a week or two ago, and she said some of these people are people that have worked for 3 and 4 years. But she also said, look, it's LA. It's the restaurant business. Like, nobody is meant to be a bartender for 20 years. Like, I want these people to get their dreams and get their careers and work through college and, have families and, like, as much as she wants these people to be organically, waiters and waitresses and front restaurant staff and bartenders of the place, she also knows they do move on. And it's a very quick turnover, I'm sure, with restaurant people. Dana Maria says the difference is Vanderpump Rules was organic, while the Valley is all folks trying to be reality stars. Exactly. And claiming, oh, we've been friends for 6 years. I'm like, stop calling out numbers. I don't believe it at all. Oh yes. LTD says, anyone watch Cheaters back in the day? Now that was reality TV. Remember when a guy on a boat pulled out a gun and I think shot somebody, or maybe maybe it was a stabbing. I feel like somebody stabbed the host one time. He was okay, but that was like truly crazy. Okay, let's chat Jeff Lewis Live. So Beverly D'Angelo and Joey Zalzig were on. Immediately Jeff brings up the guy that called in last week, the Hotel Bel Air Joey says, I was kissing, but I did not have my hands down the guy's pants. Then he says, we didn't even kiss till the very end of the date when I walked out. Now, I've been to the Hotel Bel Air for brunch. So you do walk out this front entrance and these stairs, and then there's like where the Ubers come. So I feel like at that point, they probably felt like it was a little more private, and it was able to, kiss and whatever. Now he does say that they made out, which I don't know what that exactly means in Joey's mind, but he did say he ended up going home with him. So, or did they say, well, the date continued till at least 3:30 in the morning. So it ended up being a hookup for sure. Charlie Charles says the only people that need to be celebrated from Bravo TV are Bethany Frankel, Paige DeSobo, and Stassi. They are making bank. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's definitely Bethany Frankel has definitely, I mean, she was the poorest of them all, even though she came from her dad's money. Remember, her dad would kind of win and lose his money based on the gambling of the horses. So she would have money, then she wouldn't have money. So it's kind of interesting for sure. The way I see it says, I don't believe anything Joey says. He walks back on what he says all the time. He kind of does. He kind of does. Stoney says Joey is needy and messy. Yeah. But I believe him. I mean, do you believe him that he didn't have his hands down the guy's pants? I feel like the guy that's calling in does want the radio time. He wants them to take the calls. And even somebody at one point said, why are we believing this guy that called in on the radio instead of believing Joey? Like Joey was there. So I do kind of believe all that. Yeah, Joey is a train wreck. Joey is thirsty. Joey is on the list. Don't believe Joey at all. A lot of y'all have comments about Joey. I saw Joey on a Chipotle commercial. I never did see it, but I did hear about it. Anyways, then Jeff talks about his video. So I had to unfollow Joey only because he does put out so much content. I couldn't see it all. It was just a lot. But I do think it's disheartening as a fan to realize that the videos he puts up always aren't about his real life, that it's for his audience. He says, I say things that will make my audience relate to me. That's why I'm so good at my job. And I'm like, well, but admitting that is kind of like, I think you should admit to that to Jeff off the radio and say, hey, just so you know, when you ask about that, it's kind of ruining the facade. It's almost like we see an actor in a scary movie, but then we see someone play a character on a scary movie, and then we see that actor get interviewed on the Tonight Show. I'm just making up shows. And you're like, oh, and there's people like Jennifer Aniston that act very similar. Like she acts like Rachel from Friends, right? And then there's people that are really acting and they act like someone totally different. So I feel like for Joey, he needs to tell Jeff, hey, this is part of my job, but I don't really want to admit this on the radio because then people are thinking that I'm making stuff up. Because now I'm thinking, oh, well, what are you talking about? If you're talking about being single, he's kind of alluded to these things in the past about, I just say things, I might reuse things, these videos might be old. If I'm sick one day, I might post something that's old. I get that. I just don't think I want to hear it. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't think as a fan, as a follower, I want to hear all of that. So, I don't know. Stoney says Joey is a legend in his own head. I mean, he says he doesn't lie, he embellishes. Stoney says, I think Joey has been lying for decades. I think there was never a house being built when he was living in a hotel, never a real marriage, all smoke and mirrors. Really? I mean, he was videoing in somebody's house being done. Okay, so going on this trip for Liat is Liat. This is the influencer trip coming up in June or July in Las Vegas for Liat's drink, whatever it's called. I forgot the name already. Liat, her husband, Jeff, Shane, Jackie Schimmel, MJ, Jamie Kennedy, Doug Buden, Carney Wilson, Joey Zalzig, Reza Farhan, and Crystal Minkoff. Interesting. I'm assuming that is all the basic chumps. Like they're the ones that come on a lot. Who I'm surprised isn't on it is Sarah Colonna, because she is on every week. I'm also surprised Zach Noe Towers isn't on. But you have to understand, these also were accepted invitations. So these are people that have signed the agreement, whatever, said the dates work for them. So it doesn't necessarily mean other people weren't asked in front of them. It means these are the people that are actually going and that the schedule aligned with them. So, yeah, I don't know. Stoney says, why is Jamie on that list? I feel like Jeff has a lot of influence over Liat making this decision. And I feel like this was a Jeff list, not necessarily a Liat list, if that makes sense. Jeff later calls Joey an F-boy, which I don't feel like he is. I mean, because then Jeff turns around and calls him an F-boy. And I'm like, look, they are both very sexual people. They are also both very monogamous people. Now, Jeff has been with a guy since last October-ish. But before that, there was so many different guys after Stu. And that's just the ones we heard about on the radio. So I feel like there was probably more that we just didn't hear about. Also, Jeff works a lot, so he isn't exactly, able to go out and meet a lot of people. Whereas Joey is, doesn't have a daughter, so he can go out a little more. But I still don't know who Jeff told Joey and warned him not to hook up with him. So I want to know your guesses, because I, for the life of me, can't think of who it would be. I almost feel like it's someone in the business world, like somebody, I don't know. I feel like it's somebody. I just don't know who it is. Yeah, Margaret says Liat met a lot of them at the Molly Sims thing, and Liat does the podcast with MJ. That's how Reza and Jamie are invited. I mean, definitely how MJ's invited, right? Hey, Mona, thanks for being number 75, hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, and she'll be on Jeff Lewis tomorrow. Darla says, did y'all hear about Fortune Feimster's mom? She was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. She's in my prayers. Yes, very much. Well, Michael Beck, I don't think it'd be Michael Beck. I don't feel like Michael Beck and Joey are a match. Also, Michael Beck has had a boyfriend for a while. Mary says Michael Beck, Jeff said no to Joey. I feel like it was recent though. Could it be Andy Cohen, Nut Fam says? I don't think he would have had an opportunity to be with Andy Cohen recently. And I don't think Andy Cohen wants anything to do with Joey Zalzig. Like, I don't think that's, you know what I mean? I mean, true. Charlie Charles says everyone in Jeff Lewis's circle is there for clout. They all bounce off each other, if you will. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think so either. Bridget says, no way would Andy want to be with Joey. He's not even his type. Like, he likes blondes. He really does. I just don't. And Joey also, God bless him. He's very sweet, but Joey looks like he just smells like he didn't take a shower after the gym. I'm sure he does, but he gives me a Jax smelling vibe. On the second hour was Beverly D'Angelo and Joey Zalzig. I'm not sure who was supposed to stay, but then they talked about doing this charity, a Labubu's to kids in the hospital. So it was very sweet. Apparently somebody has reached out to Jeff about a hospital that's not one of these big ones where some of the parents might have a lot of money and power to get their kids the treatments. Now, no amount of money or power. I mean, any parent would use all their money and all their power to make their kid be healthy again. But what Jeff is saying is there are certain hospitals where parents have the money and the power where a Labubu $50 little stuffed animal doesn't mean as much to a family that can't literally buy that kind of happiness for their kids. So anyways, I thought that was very sweet for sure. Stoney says it's someone that Jeff is cock blocking for more reasons than one. It's got to be someone who Jeff would be angry if Joey hooked up with. It's more than friendly concern. Very interesting. I think Andy has admitted to being a top. He was asked about that. Darla says, I think both Andy and Joey are tops. He admitted that when he was interviewed on a podcast with what is that designer? He did Isaac Mizrahi. Andy admitted that. So yeah, I think you said it more than once. Is it David Archuleta? Oh, I don't know. That's not a terrible guess, though. Mary says this is a nice charity idea for Jeff. Yeah, I like it. Beverly again talks about her smoking. I guess she was in denial. She's definitely back on the smoking train. They end the show with lots of oral sex. So just I'm gonna leave it with honey, a very nice thick honey, pearls, like a legit pearl necklace, and using your hair. And let me just say, those are some of the tips that this mom of 7 boys called in, been married a long time, and then Beverly D'Angelo, so on oral sex. So make sure you turn in and listen. Yeah. I mean, John Hill is one of his exes. Stoney says, I don't think Joey is a top, but definitely Andy is. He likes muscle twinks, and he said he is. He said he's a top. Charlie Charles says, so much gay talk. With that being said, let's give Sarah a thumbs up. Thumbs up the butt? Why'd I got to bring the butt into it? Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. It is so much fun to chat with y'all live. I love it. Not sure what I'll watch tonight. I think I need to get some more rest. Every day I'm feeling a little bit better. Y'all are really helping me so much. And maybe soon I will try the Charlie Charles elixir. Let's just call it the Charlie Charles elixir. Thank you, Cecile, for being number 4. Darla says it's all about the butt. Well, you would know with your 35-year-old, right? Thanks for subscribing, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button. And if you're listening as a podcast, make sure you scroll down and find the 5-star rating and review. I would very much appreciate it. See you tomorrow, same place, same time. Bye, Chumpettes.